right? Lose track of days when you work from home all the time. Hope everybody's having a great day. There's my brother David. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Dry Creek Trading Company, Brian, Lene Leffert, anybody else that I've missed. Thanks for coming in. Got a lot of stuff to go through. It's kind of a mix of some cataloged items and then also, hello, Don. And then also, just if you can see behind me, some boxes of stuff we can go through, including a box of stuff I pulled out of a farmhouse yesterday that was built in the Hey Ginger's world. It has been a long time. I haven't been on in over a month now. So but yeah, this farmhouse I went in yesterday was awesome. It was built kind of in stages, starting in 1790s, and then there was a section built in Civil War time, and then another section built in the 1930s. And um, I didn't get as much out of it as I would have liked because a lot of it was just damaged beyond being able to salvage it, but it was worth it just to go in the house. And I had one of my more exciting sourcing things. We went in an outbuilding and heard all this noise, and a big buzzard flew out from behind. It was a old milking like barn, and this buzzard, I guess, was nesting there, scared every me and the guy I was with to death. And but yeah, first time I've ever been out sourcing and had a buzzard come after me. So anyway, all right, well, let me turn the camera around and we'll get started. Oh, one last thing, make sure you check the show notes and get the coupon code for 10% off. And also, if you're a rewards club member, um, check the crown up top and make sure you don't have a pending discount. And as you buy stuff, you'll earn different stages of the reward club. So make sure you're checking that to get your discounts. Hey, Typing Cat, uh, Josh, hey, Allison. Thanks for everybody stopping by. Let me get the camera turned around and then we will get started. All right. Figured we'll start with some of the cataloged items. If anybody has any requests for anything, just put those in the chat or you can pre bid. I saw there were already a couple of pre bids. And we'll jump to those things right away. If you want to see any of the things I have mentioned that are more like just going through things, like whether it's the box from the farmhouse or postcards or photos or letters or stock certificates, just let me know that as well and we can do it. We'll start with lot 11, which is some New York postcards. Let me get that pinned. Oh, actually got a couple of pre-bids. So, but we'll start with this one. And it is 61 vintage New York postcards. They're all topographical, different scenes from the state of New York. Most of them are probably New York City, but not all. So we'll go through some of them, then I'll start the clock. And I got to figure out my eyesight's kind of in this transition period. I don't know if anyone else is blind like I am, but my computer glasses have gotten where I can't see the phone very well. But then if I put on my reading glasses to see the phone, I struggle to see the postcards on the table. So it's kind of a lose lose here. So I'm going to try the reading glasses and see if I can function with those, but I may have to switch back and forth. Getting old is not for the faint of heart, I've learned. So I just turned 59 this year, and hard to believe I'm almost 60. All right, so there's 61 of these. We'll go through them rather quickly, but cool in here with the biplane going over the Manhattan Bridge. And I'll just show the backside real quick. Not sure what that is. Oh, the Cathedral of St. John. And I would say these are all in, good to fair condition. If any have any like excessive damage, I will point them out. Trifocals. So yeah, Paper Swan. It's the struggle's real. And what's funny, and I don't know if anybody else is like this. So when I was younger, people would tell me I can't see things up close, and I just couldn't wrap my mind around how it would be possible not to see things right in front of your eyes. And now I know exactly what they were talking about. So here's the East River in the Public Library in New York City, 1924. In New York Post Office in Albany, New York. in the New General Post Office in New York City. I will try to keep up with the chat as well. Sometime I struggle doing that. So if I don't answer a question, just put it in there again, put a question mark on the end or whatever so it turns yellow. There's the Hellgate Bridge. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. It's been over a month since I've been on. I'm going to keep saying I'm going to try to get back more regular, but then I don't do it. Just have so many other irons in the fire, but this is one of my most fun things I do. So I don't know why I don't do it more often. There's the High Bridge, 1916. So these are kind of a mix of posted and unposted. There's the Brooklyn Bridge. There is the Grand Foyer of the Radio City Music Hall. Interior of the Radio City Music Hall. And hopefully a lot of you are like me. Even if you don't buy anything, hopefully you enjoy looking at everything. I go into a lot of shows and just I love looking at vintage and antique ephemera, among other things. So welcome in. Hey, Courtney, good stuff. Lex Attack, thanks for stopping by. Anybody else I missed? There's the Flatiron Building. Uh, that one's pretty cool. That's one of the undivided backs there. So one of the early postcards. There's the New York Stock Exchange, also undivided back. Then you have Radio City Music Hall and the Flatiron Building again. I don't know if that was a duplicate or not, but I know we saw a Flatiron Building. There's Rockefeller Center. So there may be a couple of duplicates in here. I don't think there's that many. Looking at Park Row, 1924. And then we have the New Trinity Building in New York. It's got a message on the front with an address, and it is 1907. It's actually got double postmarks. Hey, DP Hive, thanks for coming in. There's the Times Building. And there's Park Row. Atlantic City yesterday, 1,000 Islands tomorrow. This is great. So you have to be short, sweet, and to the point when you couldn't write messages on the back. Now that one's 1905, so that one's very early. Then you have the Chrysler Building. And then Boardwalk Scene in Coney Island. The good thing today is I don't have anything on the back end other than dinner at some point. So I don't have to be in a big rush like I sometimes am when I have something I've got to do. So we can kind of take our time and just have fun looking at stuff and enjoying each other's company in the chat. So thanks for everybody coming in. Here's Grant's tomb. Do you know who's buried in Grant's tomb? There's Times Square at night. That one's kind of cool. Planters Peanuts. Then here's the Port Arthur Restaurant in New York. That's the West Hall. And there is the 74th Regiment Armory in Buffalo. I think that's the first Buffalo we've seen. Not sure of the date on that one. There's an Albany. And then there's the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Easy for me to say. Central Hotel in Worcester, New York. Yeah, to be honest, Brian, I just said I would not be any more 30-minute shows. I mean, the time it took to get ready was just not worth having to rush through everything. So um, I'll still do some of the hour raid trains, but I've really just kind of enjoyed doing these, shows during the week on my own just because I'm not rushed and, we can go at a leisurely pace and just have fun looking at everything. So there is 1941. That was Brooklyn. Hey, Shershman, Morgan Czar, anybody else I missed? Here's Armory in Gloversville, New York. And then we have the Grill Room in the Hotel McAlpin, New York, 1923. Dear Mrs. Fisher, how are you and your family these days? Well and happy happy here, I think it says. Freddie and I are fine. Have just this morning returned from a pleasure trip to somewhere. So nice little letter on there or note. There's the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. There's the courthouse at Poughkeepsie, New York. I think I said that right. Anybody from New York, correct me if I butchered that. And then there's City Hall in Buffalo. Going to theater tonight, Lita. It's funny you write up like send a postcard and just put one line. I'm going to the theater tonight. And of course, by the time they get it, you've already gone to the theater. There's 1906. It was going to Hamilton, or I guess it was sent from Hamilton, Ohio. And there's the post office in New York. Hey, loser 2024, French dust and pearls. Anybody else that I've missed? Thanks for coming in. There's the $1 Million Staircase in Albany, New York. Getting close to the end here. We'll just go ahead and make it through these. Then we'll start. Then I'll just kind of go through them real quick. Post office in New York. And then Public Library, 5th Avenue and 42nd Street. Oh, this one's cool. Here's the parachute jump at Coney Island. Ride the chutes. I remember they had a ride like that at Six Flags in Georgia that had the parachute things. And then here's the Vanderbilt Mansion in Hyde Park, New York. Vanderbilt. There's the Paramount Broadway building with a plane flying over. Then we have Madison Square Garden. I guess that's the original Madison Square Garden. And then Morris High School in New York. Sorry about the glare there. That one's from 1910, I guess. I guess that's what the 10 is there. The Armory in Rochester. And then the Madison Square Metropolitan Life and Flatiron buildings with the biplane flying overhead. And a couple more here. There's the Statue of Atlas. There's the RCA building. Washington Arch from Mrs. Mahoney. And then the state capitol in Albany, 1914. And Albany, New York State Capitol, the Hippodrome, New York, 1911, I think. And then the state capitol and office building in Albany. And the U.S. Custom House, 1915. Radio City Music Hall, and then finally another Radio City Music Hall. So if I counted right, that's 61. So should be 61 or thereabouts. So let's start it. Tell you what, we've already shown them all, so we'll just do it at 30 seconds, and I'll just kind of flip through them real quick, and it is off and running. So I think my favorite one was the Coney Island parachute ride. We got Allison in at $3. Most everything's starting at $3 today. There's like two things I think that I had more, and they were like consignment items. So 61 New York City postcards, up to 5. Thanks. I like the biplane in the very first picture we looked at too. If you weren't in here, yeah, I thought that was cool at the Manhattan Bridge there. All right, Allison took those. Thank you so much. You are very welcome, and thank you. Hey, look, a shiny welcome in. Let's see, let me go ahead and write your name on here, even though this one's cataloged. All right, we'll go ahead and do another pre-bid here. We'll do lot number 1. These are some ice coupon books from, I believe they're from the 1940s. Oops, sorry about shaking the camera there. Don't want to get anybody seasick. For anybody just coming in, I am Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So there are 4 different books in here. There's a 2,000 pound, and I think they're all from the Decatur Ice and Coal Company in Decatur, Alabama. So, you would put these out next to your ice box and they would drop off however many pounds of ice and then take the corresponding number of coupons. This may have been more for a commercial company since you were getting 1,000 pounds of ice at a time. This is a 1,000 pound book, and in these you would get 50 pounds of ice at a time. And the reason I think they're 1940s is it does have pre-printed 1904. So I don't know if it's printed in all of them, but I assume they're all from around the same time. So kind of World War II era here. Oh, looks like my daughter's son. Welcome in, Abby. 25-pound book here and 500-pound total. And then finally, this was, I guess, just for if you just needed a little bit, these were 5 cents. So I don't know how many pounds that represented, but for $1, you had a bunch of coupons in here that they would drop ice. So got all four of those. We'll go ahead and start this. And we will just do it for 15 seconds and it is off and running. The 4 vintage ice coupon books from Decatur, Alabama. Circa 1940s. Thanks, Ginger's World, everybody else who bid. I don't know if it's as hot for everybody else as it is here, but it is absolutely miserable here this week. I think the heat indexes are getting up to like 105 here in Knoxville. Like real temperature, the actual temperature is going to be like 97 by the end of the week. So, not really what we're used to. My daughter, who's on here, she's from Houston, so she's used to those temperatures. This might feel cool to her. I don't know, but it's absolutely miserable for people who are just from Tennessee. All right, let's go ahead and do lot 4. This is going to be a bunch of sewing stuff. It's mostly, well, I won't say mostly, it's a lot of needles. And there are some other things. So I don't think there's anything I'm going to jab my finger on, but if you hear me yell ow, you know what happened. Hey, Brandy in the desert. Hey, C Majors, Julie, Julie Wren, anybody else I missed. So there's quite a few of these little sewing books. Now, none of them are complete. I think most of them had some needles. This one happens to be empty, but they would originally have all the needles on there. That one is empty and does have a tear in it, but that's a Sweetheart needle book. Then we have a Liberty Mutual, Birmingham, Alabama. Looks like there's only one missing from that, maybe. So, and there's actually 2 of those. And that one's missing a couple. So, we have this little floral one. It's got quite a few of the needles there, but you can see they're definitely not all there. Then there's Sewing Susan. Let's see if I can fold that. 70 gold eye needles with a threader. And there are not 70 in there, and it doesn't look like the threader's in there. I like the paper they used with the spider web design. Then here's the Woolworth needle book with the Woolworth store on there. And see if I can push that one back up in there without jabbing myself. So you can see how many are there. And then there's just a lot of other little miscellaneous things. There's an old measuring tape, cloth measuring tape. There's some hook size and loops, several of those. I believe all this stuff's fairly vintage, though. So a lot of hook size and loops. Then here's some snap fasteners with the sure fit hold. And some sew-on snaps. Some gripper snap fasteners. I like the artwork on that one. This was a brassiere or garter belt repair kit, but it looks like it's missing most everything. And then there's DeLong some sew-on fasteners, sew-on snaps, some more of those, and then finally some more hook eyes and loops. So you're getting all that. Oh, then there's also some, I guess, little needles of pins of some sort. Does anybody know what these would be called? I guess they're just pins, but I've never been a big sewer. So, all right, we'll go ahead and start this. $3 start, 15 seconds, and it is off and running. Getting everything in the stack there. I'll be putting it back in the bag while y'all are bidding. Let's see if I can. It's always easier getting it out than it is getting it back in. So, thanks for the bids, everyone. And Ginger's World took that one. All right, give me just a second here to try to get all this back in here. Oh, and everything should ship out tomorrow, so you should have your stuff maybe by the end of the week, depending on where you live. But certainly no later than the first of next week. Well, assuming the postal service does their job. But all right, Ginger's World. Thanks for the bids, everyone. Hey Heidi, welcome in. Lee Joe, Carrie, uh Charlotte, anybody else I missed, thanks for coming in. I am Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. We're doing mostly vintage and antique ephemera. I think there may be a few other miscellaneous type things in some of the boxes. Ran through some of the things with pre-bids right now and the curated lots. Then I have a lot of stuff behind me. We can just go through boxes. So if you have any requests, put those in the chat or you can pre-bid and I will catch those. All right, we'll go ahead and do this binder of Allen. Whoops, forgot to put your needles in the back or your pins. Don't want to forget those. Just be careful when you're opening the box. All right, so this is going to be a binder of 40 or so vintage Valentine cards. I think there might actually be a few more than 40. There were like some that kind of went together that I counted as one. Um, Let me take this off. So I'm going to not take, well, yeah, I'm going to not take these out. So I'll try to show you the condition. Like this one looks like it. Well, I am going to take this one out, maybe. It's hard to do this one-handed though. Yeah, so let's see. Well, you know what? It's not stuck. I mean, it's just in there kind of snug. So I'm just going to leave them in there so we don't know what's on the back. So just take that to account when you're bidding. But that will let us get through them a little quicker. But this looks like a die cut. Has a lot of designs. It does look like it has some wear, although I think all the pieces are there. Look at that's pretty intricate there. So anyway, you got that one, and then I'm getting nuts over you. Be my Valentine. Looks like it is a mechanical Valentine of some sort. My guess is this probably moves. And then you have I want to be the chief Valentine, and then that one there. I don't know exactly how old these are, but I definitely think they're all vintage, at least vintage. Another mechanical Valentine. And then there's just three hearts. And then this is some kind of little book. I guess I will pull it out just to see what it is. And it looks like it has the envelope in there. I know I may not be rich or good looking. So far, this is describing me. So I'll tell you what, let me put this on here. Out of practice since I haven't done a show in a while. Or smart. Okay, this is starting to hit really close to home. Hey, Gina, thanks for stopping by. Or talented. But that is, oh, well, happy Valentine's Day. So just a little like booklet card here. All right. So then to my sweetheart on Valentine's Day, to my teacher on Valentine's Day. And then like here was one, I think it's two cards, but they're uh, the same. So then here's a Be My Valentine with some little dogs and shoes. Not sure, a windmill there. And then some kitty cats. And then the handwritten Barbara M. from Lois Gordon. Every time I look at you, my heart goes pitter patter, my Valentine. It's like a little homemade card. Here's another kind of layered card with a doily on it. Then here's one, let's picture you and me together, Valentine. And then for you on Valentine's Day, Valentine for you, Valentine greetings. I'm lonely for you, Valentine. I wish I was a little tag. Do you know what I'd do? I'd fasten me on you somewhere and tag along with you. There's a heart with a newspaper. And just on Valentine's Day with some bluebirds. Ahoy there, Valentine, with the dog. Then bear in mind, son. So I guess that's us to somebody's kid. Please be mine. A toast to my Valentine. All others burn me up. And then here's a for my Valentine. Jot this down. Valentine greetings. In a whirl. Valentine, you've got me. To my Valentine, Martha. That one. That one. Just a couple more here. To my Valentine, I love you. Be mine. For you, Valentine. And then to a sweet little girl. Here's one that says applesauce. I love you. Looks like maybe this one's probably, yeah, it's mechanical. I see a rivet there, so something moves in it. Then this one looks like you can change the guy's face. Oh, don't be alarmed, but I've just got to say. And then Valentine's greetings. And then this one here. And then that's it. So if while it runs, if there's any particular ones anybody wants to see, I guess let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and start it. Thanks for the hearts, guys and girls. Let's see. Start auction. We'll do 15 seconds. And it is off and running. And I'll kind of try to go through it. This one's really cool here. Just go through them really quick. Yeah, that book's painful to read. Palm tree, any military large format certificates. I may have some military photos in some of these boxes. I don't have anything cataloged slash curated, but we'll see if anything comes up. But I don't have any certificates, I'm pretty sure. So let's see. Ginger's World got that one. Hey, Way Tina, thanks for coming in. Brenda Lofton, thank you. Thanks for the bids on that, everyone. All right, let's see. We have one more pre-bid here for now, and it is lot 3. I'm not going to dump these out or anything. I'm just going to kind of, it's just a bunch of old buttons, and they happen to weigh exactly a pound. You can see they probably have, that's probably remnants from the string and stuff. They came out of the same house where the needles and stuff came from. Try to show you kind of what's in there. It's a lot of them. I have no idea how old they are. I think most of them are plastic. There might be a few metal ones, but I don't know that for sure. So, anyway, this is what you're bidding on. And I guess that's the extent I'm going to show them. I have some stock certificates. I don't know if I have any ledgers right now or anything. There might be some of the like statements and stuff, but we'll just have to see. But we'll see what comes up. But I do have some stock certificates if you want to, if you're interested in any of those. All right. Oops, I forgot to pin this. All right. So for this poundo buttons, we're going to start this. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I also have shipping capped at whatever it is, $9 and whatever the amount is. And so once you get to a pound, basically your shipping's free after that. And then once again, check the show notes to get your 10% off. All right, here we go. This is going to start and it is running. A bag of buttons. I guess people use these for crafts and stuff. I'm really not sure, but Brian's going to do something with them, though. Thank you. All right, I believe that is all the pre-bids. So um, tell you what, just because it was fun for me to go through, let's look at this box of stuff that came out of the house that I mentioned at the beginning. If you weren't in here yesterday, I went out in the country here near Knoxville and went to a house that was built starting in 1790s. So there was one section that was built in the 1790s, and it had all the original like most of the original logs and stuff. At some point, it looked like they had maybe taken one wall and started taking them out to do something different. And the whole house had siding on it, so you couldn't see. No, there weren't any stocks there, I don't think. Um, you could so the siding was all along the house, so you couldn't see any of like the original outside stuff. But then the second part of the house was built in the 1860s, and then the last part in the 1930s. And if you actually go, let me pin this, and then if you go look at the pictures, you can see pictures of the house and pay special attention to the wallpaper that was in there. It was pretty awesome. Let me find that and pin it. I do have a bag of military patches and medals, but I don't think they're that old or anything. But we can look at those. Where is my farmhouse? There it is. Yeah, so just go to that listing and look at the pictures, and you can see everything. All right, and there were a few things in here that weren't ephemera as well. So let's see. I don't know the best way to do this. I'll tell you what. I'll just I'll lot some stuff up. We'll see if there's any interest. I'll tell you what, as I throw it out there, just like put run in the chat if you want me to run it, and it'll be a $3 start. And then if there's this people that don't want me to run specific things, then I'll just start lotting that stuff up. So here's a 1943 Progressive Farmer magazine, and this is like the only magazine in the whole house that was worth salvaging. So this stuff had all been stored in the attic of this house for who knows how long. It was all from like early 1900s up through mainly the 40s, maybe a little bit of 50s stuff. Um, so at some point, somebody who lived there had all this stuff stored, and this magazine somehow like came out in remarkably good shape. But there are some cool ads in here. Um, but yeah, if you like agricultural stuff, I know I have pretty good luck, selling these in my booth and stuff. So uh, there's a bunch of like little cookbooks, wherever cookers, like advertising type cookbooks. Um, I could probably just lot all these little books up. Here's a Clabber Girl recipes, and some of these are a little dirty, but I mean, I had to just pass over so much cool stuff because the little bugs had gotten it, or just had gotten wet, rodents, all that kind of stuff. So here's some Cerdo recipes. That's from 1929. And then here's Mary Lee Taylor's Weight Watching Desserts and other new recipes from Pet Non-Fat Dry Milk. So I don't know if anybody collects like that kind of stuff. Here's double entry. Oh, so Drawn's new system of bookkeeping sent on 60 days trial. So you can see, I mean, there is a little bit of staining there. Um, but I love the handwriting there. And it was somewhere in Tennessee. Hey, Rob Tree, Maine Buys, My Happy Place. Anybody else I missed? So you got that. It looks like we got some Christmas cards from Bertha. So yeah, if you see anything that strikes your fancy, just let me know. Otherwise, hopefully you enjoy looking through it like I do. So you got those. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll just have to wait and see, what we have. I really don't know. Oh, so this is really cool here. I did take a glance at this. So once again, there were so many old letters, but this was one of the few that was in decent shape. But it's from 1960 or 1914, and it's for Split Hickory Vehicles Company that were made by the Ohio Carriage Manufacturing Company. And it says, "Dear Mr. Little, I am just in receipt of your favor of recent date and note carefully your further remarks about the buggy you are planning to buy. Naturally, I'm very much pleased to know that you're interested in one of my split hickory special buggies because it was one of these buggies that I made you a special proposition." So then they go on and I'm not going to read the whole letter, but let's see what else is in here. Then so it's got a price estimate enclosed. This is the very lowest possible price I can quote you and supply high grade material and workmanship. And then the back page does have a little bit of the lacing from whatever kind of insect does that. And then it's signed by the president of the Ohio Carriage Manufacturing Company. And then it's got the price list in here. And the price list is not in near as good a shape as the letter, but I went ahead and grabbed it too. You can see, but it's got the factory specification for Mr. Phelps buggy, November 24th, 1913. It's got like how big the body is and all that. So, is anybody interested in that? I'll tell you what, I'm just going to run it because I thought this was really neat. So, we'll run just this letter here and we will go ahead and start it. And that is off and running for the split hickory vehicles um, letter here. Thank you, Allison. This is a really cool letter. So, hopefully you'll enjoy that. I'm not sure, man, if there was anything tobacco related. All right, that'll be coming your way. Let me put your name on there. And then we still have a lot of postcards and stuff as well. So if you want to see any of those lots, just let me know. All right, let's see what else we have down in here. Yeah, and then like some non-ephemera stuff. This was a little what was the brand of this? It's a little die-cast car, and it was oh, I gotta get my magnifying glass. I can't remember what it was now. Oh, a good Goodee, I think. So you had that little car there. Then like a little laundry marking set. Like still had the contents in it as well. So like a little, I think it's early 1900s based on what I could find on the internet about it. And that was half of a like a tintype album cover, but it doesn't have the other half. So, but that's still cool. Then there's this souvenir from Lookout Mountain, which is in Chattanooga. It's just, I guess, like a pencil holder or something like that. Here's some more letters of some sort. Well, I guess it's resealed. So I'm not sure. Let's see if we, there we go. So it's, yeah, a card of some sort. In the white lily, we made a beautiful cake. Here's a 1941 Seal Test Food Advisor. There's an envelope. I'm not sure what date it is, but it does have something in it. Now, 1895 is when this letter was written. Dear sister, I received your letter some days ago, would have answered sooner, but that I had just sent you a letter car that on the car that brought mine. I am well at present and I'm doing my best to get my extra work off hands by the close of the term, maybe. So, anyway, nice little handwritten letter from the 1800s. Sure. You talking about the ladies' magazines? Yeah, let me just show this stack here and that I've already pulled out. Then we'll pull those. Uh, it's like another Christmas card, probably, yeah, Christmas card. Here's a birthday card. Yeah, you can see what's doing to my table here. This stuff is kind of dirty. There's a 1953 letter that got kind of destroyed by the insects. Here's a little book, Chitter Chatter by Isabel Reed, 1948. So got that. And then, oh, this was the envelope, I guess, for the carriage thing. So I'll stick that with your stuff, Allison. The envelope's seen better days, but let's see. Or wait, was that the one that went with that? Split hickory. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's the one that went with that. Because here's another letter, split hickory vehicles. So I guess it's just a second letter. Tell you what, since I ran the first one, let me run this one as well. Let me make sure this doesn't go with it. And, oh, I guess, oh, so these are like samples and stuff of the leather. So let me, well, let me move all this stuff. And I'll go ahead and run this and then we'll move to the magazines. But since I ran the one, we'll run the other one. Let me see what's in here real quick. And here's another letter from 1914. So let me know if you want me to run any of those old letters. And then we'll look at this one. So this is another one from the Split Hickory Vehicles, 1914. A few days ago, I wrote you quite a long letter telling you about the new buggy I built for my own use. So I don't know if that was the letter that we just looked at that Allison got. Um, let's see, I can't send a sample of some of the very best features, such as the special wheels, body springs, axles, and shafts. I'm going to write out a special agreement to cover these. And then, so here's what's in the sample pack. There's leather for the side quarters, and then there's a sample of rubber that's used for the roof and back curtain. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Third, the rubber with the green back is for the side curtains, and then there's a plaid black gossamer. I don't know if all this is in here or not. Fifth, the broadcloth, and please examine these samples carefully. So let's see what all we got. And then here's a special agreement. You can see it's like got a little bit of lacing. So on the split hickory vehicles letterhead. So here's one of the samples. So we got one in there. Let's see what else we got. Here's an order blank for the Ohio Carriage Manufacturer Company. What is the low price on the vehicle? Isn't it the fact that a price of $60 on a certain kind of buggy can be just as low as the price of $35 on another? Wonder what that is in today's dollars. Okay, and then it looks like this must have been another sample. Maybe it was the rubber because it's stuck to the paper. And then this is another letter. So I wish it would be possible for me to drive out to your house today and show you my new buggy. Maybe this is the letter he's referencing in that. So 69.75 in cash and signed by the president. So anyway, we'll go ahead and do this. So you're getting the two letters, the samples that are in there, some other little miscellaneous inserts, and we will go ahead and see. I think I can just run. Well, I'm going to run next, but wait and bid. Let's make sure the right thing comes up. Run next is like the Russian roulette of whatnot. So here we go. Yep, that's good. So two different letters from like 1914, all about buggies, which is pretty cool. Split Hickory Vehicles, the Ohio Carriage Manufacturing. So 1914. Thanks for the bids, everyone. Looks like maybe it originally had a catalog or something because it talks about page 35 and 36, but I don't think that's in here, unfortunately. All right, Tyler took that one. Thank you so much. And Tyler just unlocked bronze. Make sure you check the little crown up top for your reward. Ugh. All right, so let me put the rest of this stuff up and grab this box of magazines. Oh, that's awesome, Tyler. Let me pin these. All right, so this box of magazines. Oh, they're kind of heavy, so. All right, so the first one we have is The American Woman from June 1921. And it's, I don't know who Haskell Caffin, I guess. That's who illustrated that. Let's look at the back first because that's easy to show you. So on the back, you've got, let us give you enough Seiko silk to make a charming waist or dress. I guess maybe if you well, yeah, it looks like if you sell subscriptions to this magazine, then you get some free silk. So it looks like these are going to be stories and such. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna go get my little vacuum cleaner and vacuum up this mess that I've made real quick. So I'll be right back. All right, and then everybody cover your ears. I'll give you fair warning here because I'm gonna turn this on real quick. So let me close that and move it. Okay, here we go. All right. Sorry about that. All right, I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna run this and I'll do it for like 30 seconds and we'll show some of the pages while it runs. So start auction. We'll go, since this is the first one, I'll do 45 seconds so we can look at it. And that is off and running. Whoops. It's off and running. So it looks like there's some like instructions for making yokes for garments of intimate wear. A story about Mary Marie. Overall, this is in pretty good condition. Then you have all the ads back here for different things. Lots of cool images of clothes of the day. All right, so no interest. So I'll tell you what, let me just show the cover of some of these and then y'all tell me if you want me to run it rather than so. Right, so here's a needlecraft magazine that looks like it's going to be focused on like Russian outfits. This one's awesome. Here's a modern Priscilla from 1922 that's got the little baby in the bathtub on the front. I'll just watch the chat. The American Needlewoman. That one's from July 1923. Then you have a patriotic. This one's kind of timely with the 4th of July. And it's from 1927. Which one on the yes, mans? This one here? The 4th of July one? Okay. Let me move those. Tell you what, let me just go ahead and start it and we'll do it for 30 seconds. That should give me enough time to kind of show what's there. So that is running. So on the back of this one, you got a Certo ad for jams and jellies. A Listerine ad. Now dandruff is avoidable. I didn't know you used Listerine for dandruff. All new sets to brighten your living room. Here's a Fells Naphtha soap ad. All right, Mans took that one for 3. Hey, Dave, welcome in. All right, so then we have a Women's World, the Old Manse from 1928, a Needlecraft from 1931. Here's a Liberty magazine from 1939. This one's not old, but it's somehow in the stack. Who Killed Pee Wee? Rolling Stone. And then there's a Pick magazine, 1939. 3 magazines in one covering the entire field of entertainment. Hollywood, Broadway, and sport. Run the Liberty. All right. All right, let me go ahead and run next on this one. And it is running. So there's the back with the Chesterfield ad with the girl in the green. Oops, there is a page torn in here, so let me know if that makes a difference. But what's wrong with Senator Wheeler? There's a Prince Albert, a cartoon for Prince Albert. There's something about Twilight cheats. All right, Mans took that one. Put that with your other one over here. Let's see, and then there's a Life magazine inaugural spectacle. It's kind of got some staining. Looks like that one's from 19. Is that I think it's a Kennedy one. And then here's a Needlecraft Czechoslovakia. Here's another Liberty magazine. If you're interested, Mans, let me know on that one. There was the back of that. Another Chesterfield, but with red. All right, let's go ahead and run this. And it is running. So you got Old Drum Brand Blend Whiskey ad. Dark Soul, The Secret of Coaster Musica's Crimes. Love in the River. Flaming Tender, a storm-tossed hell adventurer. A Picture Pleads for Peace. There's Clark Gable. A Salute from the Admiral. Beeman's Pets and Gum. All right, that's coming your way. And here's another modern Priscilla from 1928 with the bride on it. Needlecraft, India. There's a Pick magazine with Harry Truman at 24 on the front. Here's a Saturday Evening Post, 1903. It's more like a newspaper almost at that point. There's National Farm Journal. I mean, let's see. Well, a lot of these are needlecraft ones, so I'm not going to pull everyone out of those since there haven't been any interest. Run the Farm Journal. All right. And there's a women's world. So we'll stick with these for a couple more minutes and then we'll move on to something else. So let's go ahead and run the Farm Journal. It's off and running. On the back, you have an ad for orchards. Let me show you how to make $1 do the work of $2. Gargle every 2 hours. Courtship of the Duke. An ad for Granger Rough Cut Tobacco. A bunch of ads back here, it looks like. I don't know until we get down. I haven't really looked through these yet. Looks like Melanie is winning right now. All right. Thank you so much. If that's your first purchase from me, thank you. Thank you. Only 26, 937. For anybody just coming in, I am Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures in Knoxville, Tennessee. I've been on Whatnot for like forever now. I was like way back OG type, and then I wasn't on it for a long time. And I'll sit and think I'm going to start getting on it again more, but then I don't. So I don't know. I enjoy doing it when I do it. I've just been so busy. So appreciate everybody stopping by. I'm not going to show. Well, here's one there's a Needlecraft. We've seen a bunch of those. Here's a Modern Priscilla, 1928. So I'm going to skip all these Needlecraft magazines unless they have a really cool cover. Because that seems to be what most of these are through here. It won't take me too long to get to the bottom of the box. Let's see. There's a Home Arts magazine that looks like if I tried to cook back there with everything boiling over. And these are all Needlecraft. I'm not even sure where I got all these. Here's another Farm Journal from 1938. Let me know if you want me to run that. Tell you what, I'll run these two together. There's two farm journals. I'll just go ahead and run them. May 1931, January 1938. And those are running. This will be for both of them. You got a Pillsbury ad on the back of that one. And then a Chesterfield for Christmas ad on the back of that one. Do have some cartoons, boys and girls, choose your gift. American Seed. I guess you sold seed and you got gifts. It was kind of like I used to sell wrapping paper when I was a kid. All right, Melanie took that one. I will put that with your other. Thanks for the bids, everyone. Okay, here's two more. We're going to just run these together as well. So this one's 1931 National Farm Journal. You have I guess maybe it's a bride and a groom. Then on the back, you have a Lucky Strike ad. Luckies are always kind to your throat. I love. Everyone knows that Sunshine Mellows. That's why the toasting process includes the use of ultraviolet rays. Lucky Strike, made of the finest tobaccos, the cream of the crop, then it's toasted. So they were practically healthy. Then you have this one with some kind of airplane slash helicopter on the front and says, "Can we undersell Russia?" 1931. And then that's got a Camel's ad, smoke a fresh cigarette. All right, we'll go ahead and start this one, and it is off and running. Oh, yeah, I will. Can we undersell Russia? At the first sign of trouble, Listerine immediately. Soothes, heals, and combats infection. Vegetables for babies. Granger Rough Cut ad. Let's see what's in this one. Oh, there's a cool car picture there. Thanks for the bids, everyone. Let's see what's in the back here. There's an ever-ready flashlights and battery ad. When this pumping jack goes up, motor repairs go down. Demands took that one. Thank you. Put that with your other magazines. Now, let me just tell you what. No, let's see. Let me get to the bottom. Yeah, I'll pull out the pics we see. So there's Needlecraft. There's a Kennedy and his family in pictures from Look magazine. There's actually two of those. Okay, so let me just start stacking these pics up. There's that. Then there's a 25-cent photo history, number 2, Labor's Challenge. So I'm not sure. It looks like, yeah, this is just going to be all kind of like labor related pictures in that one. There's another Pick magazine, Illegitimate Children. It wasn't their fault. Does your newspaper carry Nazi propaganda? First pictures of Ghost Ship. And here was, here's a journal with Marilyn Monroe on the cover, 1973. So, I mean, it's not as old, but let me know if anybody's interested in that one. Then there's a Rolling Stone with Tom Cruise on the cover. When we get back into Needlecraft magazines, we got those. All right, just a few more in here. And then we'll go back and look for the pics. I put them up. Here's an American Woman from 1920. Another Needlecraft. And then here's a John Belushi Rolling Stone. So, all right, so let me stick these back in the box. And just if there's anything that, like any of the certain brands you want me to show again, just let me know. But there were mostly Needlecraft that we skipped over. That was the Marilyn Monroe one. Let's see if we have any more picks. Yeah, and then all these are the like Home Arts and Needlecraft magazines. And Modern Priscilla, if anyone's interested in that one. That was the Saturday Evening Post. If anybody was interested in that, okay, there's another Pick magazine. Modern Priscilla. pick. I think that's it. All right. So let me show these picks and let me know if there's any of those you're interested in. Appreciate y'all bearing with me as we look through those, and thanks for everybody who bid on them. All right, so you have this pick magazine with Ann Sheridan on the front, 1939. So the first one definitely. So this one. Then we have this one that had Harry Truman at age 24. That one is from 1948. And then you have this one here from 1941. It's got Jane Russell on the cover. And then this one's got Blanche Grady, who I haven't heard of, but it's from 1942. And Martha O'Driscoll. Okay. When you say this one, the Blanche Grady or the Jane Russell? The 42 one. Okay. I'll put that one there. And then this was the last one. This is Ida Volmar, and it's from 1938. So I'll tell you what, I'll just I'll run these two together, and then let me know if there were any of these last four that you wanted me to run. So if not, this will be the last of the magazines. So let me take this out. And then just let me know what y'all want to see next. I mean, if you look into the lots, you can see I still have quite a few curated postcard lots. If you want me to run it down, I think I've got Tennessee. I think I got North Carolina and Illinois. And then there's all kind of stamps if anybody's into that, like first day covers and stuff. All right, so this one, does your newspaper carry Nazi propaganda with Blanche Grady on the cover? And the back has these two big bestsellers. If I can get my fingers to work. So, Skinny, Penny, Teddy, Peppy, and Kirk. So it looks like it's just different genres of entertainment. As it mentioned, I think it's somewhere it mentioned it was like, yeah, here we go. Hollywood, Broadway, and sport. And then here's the one with Ann Sheridan. It's got some kind of making money ad on the back. I have no idea what just flew off the table. Have to look in a second. All right, we'll run both these together though. And it is off and running. Thank you, Granny Nine Toes. In the meantime, let me figure out what fell off the table. I heard something hit the floor, but I don't know what it was. So looks like Granny Nine Toes is going to get those. Thank you so much. Good get on those, and that is your first purchase. So where's everybody else from? I'm here in really, really hot Tennessee. I know we have, I think we had at least had Ohio in the house. I know. Any more letters? I do have some more letters. Let me pull out. Let me pin that lot that I have actually. So is anybody interested in this? It was in with the magazines, but it's not really a magazine. It's a portfolio of photographs and science. But there's supposed to be 12 in here, and I think there's only like 7. So, but they're all signed. It's kind of cool. Looks like they're signed maybe by whoever. Well, no, I think that's just that's probably just printed. It's just what it is. That's the chromosomes of Drosophila. So pretty exciting subject matter. magnetic domains. So I don't know. I looked it up. If this was complete, it actually sells for quite a bit, but it's missing like 5 of the pictures. So, all right, letters. Let me pin those letters. Let's see, where were they? So let's see. Illinois, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, really, really hot New Jersey, just like really, really hot Tennessee. All right, so I think most of these are from maybe England, I think, but they're all early 1900s and 1800s. So I don't know. I'll just stick like 5 out there and we'll run it and then see if there's any interest. So this one looks like it's 1865. Dear Sir. So it's some kind of little business note there. I think there's some like ledger type. Somebody asked about ledger type stuff. This is 1903. So some of these aren't actually letters. They're more just like, I guess, business things. So yeah, here's a ledger from 1894. Cash in hand. Um, so you got 2 ledger pages. And then I'll stick one more thing up here and we'll see if there's any interest in this sort of thing. I probably have some other letters somewhere. I have those ones that are in the box, but and then this is 1880 ledger too. So maybe this may not even be what you're looking for, Allison, but we'll see if anybody's interested. We'll just do 15 seconds for those 6 pages, starting at $3, and it's off and running. Thank you. So some pretty old stuff, if nothing else. That being the oldest, I'm pretty sure it's 1865. Then 1905, and then these were 1800s ledgers. All right. Did you want to look at any more of those? I still have quite a few. Let me know if you want to see any more. If not, I'll run something else. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, let me run one more. We'll just see. They're kind of cool to look at. And I'm not exactly sure what all I have in there. So let me just pull a few more here. So here's 1914, the League Benevolent Burial Society. Looks like maybe a bill or something. Uh, and then here's 1887, I believe it is, received from somebody. So it's a receipt 1881, actually, not 1887. So pretty darn old. Then here's to the Secretary of the Midland Railway Company. So some kind of railroad something here. 1916. Yeah, 1916. So then here's another on the Leak Benevolent Burial Society letterhead, 1915. So we had a railroad and a couple of burial society. We'll go ahead and run that one. And it is running. That's cool. Cool piece of railroad ephemera. All right, I'm gonna stick those with your others. All right, I'll do one more of these and then we'll move on to something else. So here's another League Benevolent Burial Society from 1915. Shall be glad if you will attend a meeting of the trustees tomorrow. And then here's this one's actually a letter of some sort or a legal document maybe, but it says, Dear Sirs, at the appointment today, the something, but it's from 1912. 1H something N Square, London. This is a really long letter with great penmanship. Yours truly. Do a couple more. Yeah, so grays in squares, what this other one said too. 1912. Let me see if I can find a cool one. All right, so this one is from, it's some kind of like a sale document. Really good handwriting. I don't see a date on it. Oh wait, maybe there's going to be a 1874, I think, or it's either 1874 or 1894. So really old, some kind of legal document here. So we'll go ahead and run these. And it is off and running. Thank you for the bid. It's a really good deal on those. So I'm glad you're getting them. You'll have fun trying to read them. I have learned that like these penmanships, that this one's not too bad. It's actually kind of easy to read, but some of those old letters are really, really hard to read. And I've learned if you scan them in and run them through Chat GPT, um, it does a pretty good job of translating them. Um, so just an idea if you're struggling on anything. All right, tell you what, let me run a few, see if anybody wants any stock certificates. I'll run a few of these. We'll do like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them. So here's a Grand Union Company. Cool. I love the artwork on old stock certificates. Everything's digital now. So 1967 is when it was last stamped. And here's a General Motors with the futuristic looking cars on it. 1961. And here's a United States Lines Company, 100 shares. No cool artwork on that one. See what else I got in here. Here's a Pan American World Airways, like the eagle and stuff on that one. And then here's a Gulf States Utilities Company. So what is that? 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 5. That's a good number. We'll go ahead and run those 5. Start at 3, and it is off and running. You got Gulf States Utility Companies, Pan American World Airways, United States Lines Company. This is my favorite one with the futuristic cars from General Motors, and then a Grand Union Company. So all 5 of those. Granny Nine Toes, thank you so much. Hey, Neil, Snoopy Lover. Anybody else I missed? All right, Granny Nine Toes. I will put that with your other items. And if you weren't in here earlier, all this should ship out tomorrow. As we say in Tennessee, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. But there's absolutely zero chance. Well, there's actually is a chance of rain, just heat thunderstorms, but we should be good. All right, let's see what we want to do next. How about anybody want to just do some random postcard lots? I have a bunch of postcards here that would be just kind of random. I don't know what else in them. We can do a stack of 25, 30 postcards or so and see. Let me find that lot. And like I mentioned earlier, there are some like first day issues as well. If anybody's interested in stamps, just let me know. What time is it? So it's only 4:20. All right, so let's see what all we got here. We have Give me the avowed, the erect, the manly toe. Oh, foe, not toe. And that one is from 19, I'm not sure. There's a greetings, my greeting. 1909. To my dear cousin. To dear dad. Tell you what, what I'll do on these, I'll throw down like 10 and then we'll start it. And then as long as there's bidding, I'll just keep throwing them down. Here's a birthday greeting. Just a few words on a card. Sorry for the glare there. With kind regards. And here's a from a friend. Sorry, I keep hitting the little thing here. Joyous birthdays. 1912. Best birthday wishes. Greetings sincere. 1911, maybe. Hey, Amber Burr, thanks for coming in. I'll go ahead and finish out this little stack, then we'll start it, and then I'll just grab from the box while people are bidding. Birthday greetings, many happy returns of the day, 1908. And then a happy birthday, and that's like raised on there. Then there's sincere good wishes. Christmas greetings, that's another one. It's like that's been applied. It's like raised up. It's like some kind of gold looking stuff. And then it's also embossed. And then birthday greetings. So we'll start with these at $3. And I'll go ahead and get a stack in my hand here. And we'll keep adding as long as people are bidding. So we'll pull from here. So that is often, let's see, I'll put it at 20 seconds and it is off and running. Greetings from Rockwood, Tennessee. It's too bad Millicent's Memories isn't in here. There's View of Madeira Cove. I'm not sure. The American Scene. That looks like from the same series. These are a little newer here, but there's a hot air balloon. Actually, this one's not newer. That one's from somewhere in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure where the greeting was from. And then here's a best wishes from Massachusetts, I think. All right. Cat's Dance Bomb took that one. Then we'll just do the same thing here in a minute. You're welcome. Thanks for the bids, everyone. Let's see. All right, so our next stack will be first greetings from somethingville, Pennsylvania, Craigsville. Does anybody know how they pronounce that? Anyway, undivided back. This one's cute. Oh, Kresge. Oh, Creskyville. Okay, thank you, Cat Stands Mom. Then you got these kittens playing in a basket. It is good and embossed. That's a tux. Then we have Des Moines. Greetings from Des Moines, Iowa. Undivided back. Greeting from C.S. Brooks. I guess that's somebody's name, probably. That is, not sure the date. Then greetings from somewhere in Minnesota. These aren't even really postcards. Well, this one is. That's a newer one, but it's foreign. And then this is a holiday open house at the shops of Sequoia Hills. So that's from Knoxville. It's an advertising piece, but I will throw it in there. Here's a German one. So getting into a little bit of batch of newer ones here. There's that. There's that. Looks like these are all German. I'll just go ahead and put this whole stack in there before I start. All right. Let me grab some from the middle here. All right, I'll put one more and then we'll start it. Here's birthday greetings. And it is now running. Birthday greetings. September. The flower for September. It does have a chunk out of it there. Let the greetings on this card whisper of a great regard. 1912. I think the cat was my favorite one in there. All right. Thank you, Lanai. Hey, Dad's postcards. Thanks for coming in. Sabrina Moss. Anybody else I missed? For anybody just coming in, I'm Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Very hot Knoxville, Tennessee today. And we're doing some just kind of miscellaneous postcard lots now. Take a look at the catalog. I still have some curated things we haven't run. Still have a bunch of boxes of stuff. I have some photos we could go through, then just some other miscellaneous type stuff. So, okay, let's go ahead and do this a couple more times. Here's with best wishes. Here's the white chrysanthemum sincerity. That's from 1911, I think it says. Then we have a birthday greeting. And if you are more interested in like topographic postcards, I do have some curated lights from a couple of states left. There's kind thoughts, including my home state of Tennessee. There's a birthday greeting. That one's kind of cool. There's just a greetings. Birthday greetings. And then kind thoughts for your birthday. And then another birthday greeting. And then a happy days. Let me get a few more in there and then we'll start it and then just keep putting them down as long as people are bidding. Loving birthday wishes. That one might be a reproduction there, I believe. There's something, I think maybe Portugal. Same series there. There's an RPPC, a foreign one. It's a Velox. And then here's a greeting. So let's go ahead and get that started. And let me get another stack to continue throwing down. And it is running. Here's a Christmas one. That one, that one is a tux. Then a Merry Christmas. A Merry Christmas. Flowers on that one. May all Christmas joys be thine. Then the heartiest congratulations. Sorry about the glare. Undivided back. A happy Christmas tide to you. Something you don't really hear anymore. All right. I will put that with your other postcards. Thanks for the bids, everybody. Ooh, I'm pretty sure I don't have anything like that, but gee, you never know. I come across so much interesting things. I don't have just a ton of letters left, period, right now. All right. I'm going to stick this with your other stack. And you unlock bronze. Make sure you go up to the crown and get your discount. All right. Let's do a few more of these. I'll do one more and then y'all can let me know if you want me to keep doing these. I was looking to see what else is in this box because there are a few other things besides just postcards. It will at least change styles here. These look like more kind of, I think they're foreign, but they are more topographical. Um, I'll throw that one in, but it's got water damage. So, um, here's Berlin. That one's cool. I don't know where it is. Uh, it is German. It's got the German stamp on it. Then you have the Palace of Kaiser Wilhelm in Berlin. And that one, we'll see if there's any interest in the foreign postcards. This looks like almost all these are German. There's the Rhine Castle. Oh, thanks for the purchase. That will also ship out tomorrow. I'll go ahead and start with the bigger stack of these. The Palace of Fontainebleau. Looks like there's quite a few of these, so I'll just go ahead and get through these, include them, then we'll start it. Looks like maybe it's a whole series. All right, then that's Monaco. Oh, there's another Fontainebleau. Sorry, I keep hitting the thing. Yeah, there's a lot of these. So Fontainebleau. You'll have a whole virtual tour of this palace with these postcards, I guess. Goodness, they just keep coming. All right, I think that's the last one. So let me go ahead and start it. And then, yeah, so there's still a lot of these topographical foreign postcards we'll pull from there and see how long it goes. It is running. These are like the green, they have almost green backs to them. It's like not many foreign postcard fans. Good get on that. Here, I'll just throw a couple more in there. Let's stick that with your other stack. All right, we'll finish the postcards with one more run of the more holiday type ones here, and then we'll move on to something else. So here's a happy Christmas. Here's season greeting with the cats, and one's dressed up like a lion, it looks like. Oh, yeah, one's dressed up like a lion. Here's Christmas joys. Hey, Carly's. There's some more. Welcome in. Anybody else I missed? Thanks for stopping by. There's a Merry Christmas. Here's another Merry Christmas. Looks like some of these were in somebody's booth at one time. It was not my booth, although I do have 3 booths. Got 3 antique booths here in the Knoxville area. So if you're ever in town, make sure you stop by Beard and Antique Mall, West End Antiques, or Granny's Attic in Clinton. And if you're ever looking for a good road trip to do, the first weekend in October, I believe it is, will be the big Clinch River Antique Festival in Clinton. It's really big. Clinton's a top 10 antiquing destination in the country. So, yeah, if you're looking for something to do, come down to Clinton. It's about 30 minutes north of Knoxville. A joyful Christmas. We have birthday greetings. That's a cool image. And then hello from Bracketville, Texas. We'll write we'll write as soon as I get out of the hospital. Hmm. Then here's a happy birthday with some cherubs. And then birthday greetings with the guy on the train. To my darling boy. Nice embossed postcard. Let me get through the rest of this little stack and then we'll start it. Here's loving birthday wishes with a drum. That one might be. Yeah, that one's a reproduction. Birthday greeting. Most of these are the real deal, but there's been a handful of reproductions. All right, and then this one. And then let me get me a stack and we'll start. Make sure I'm pulling from the old ones here. All right, let's run it. It's running. So we got happy birthday with flowers on it. Best wishes with the ship and the fan. A happy birthday. Try to go fast so you get as many as you can. And we have best wishes. And then with best wishes. To greet you and wish you a very bright birthday. And here's happy birthday. A happy birthday. Well, that one's cool. Another fan. So we've seen 2 fan postcards, 1909. All right. Here, I had this one in my hand, so we'll throw it in there as well. Does anybody want me to run? I mean, I still have a lot of those types of postcards. Let me know if you want me to run another one. Uh, if y'all want me to run another one, I will. Just say yes or no, or if I don't see anything, I guess we'll move on. All right, I don't see any yeses, so we'll stop with the postcards for the time being, but we can always come back to them because I still have a lot left. Thanks to everybody on that one for all the bids. All right, let's see what we want to go to next. Let's see, let me get these back on the table. Is there any interest in this? It'd probably be really cool if it was in better shape, but it's the Sunset route. You can see it's gotten chewed on the corner at some point, but it's got a train on the front, and it's the Sunset route and Scenic Wonders of Arizona, and I'm not sure, it was published for the Southern Pacific Railroad. But you can see it's got all these pictures in it. They're like postcards almost, like, and it's from that Teach company who did a lot of these brochures. So I think the pictures are all in good shape. It's just this corner's been chewed up. So let me know if there's any interest in that. Here's a bunch of pictures. Oh, I guess it's just that one folds. Okay, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I mean, since the condition's not great on it, I'll start it for 3 like I've done everything else. No sense rocking the boat now. Let me change my lots here so I know which lot it came from. It's this one here. All right, we'll go ahead and run this. $3 start. I'll put 30 seconds on the clock so I can show a few more of these, and that's running. So yeah, it's really cool. It's just a shame that it's in such bad shape, but you still have a lot of good images in here. And I guess this is all the places this railroad would have traveled. San Xavier Mission, Picture Rocks near Tucson, prehistoric ruins at Casa Grande, Southern Pacific Depot, the Date Gardens in Coachella Valley. All right. Congratulations on that. We're actually going out west in January. Has anybody been to Joshua Tree? We're going to go to Joshua Tree in January. Our whole family, we have a house rented. Um, we'll be like halfway between Joshua Tree and Palm Springs, I think, where we're staying. But it's cool. You get an Airbnb out there and you get like land. We have like 2.5 acres with our Airbnb we got, and it's got, basketball courts and swimming pool and hot tub and all kind of games and like 3 fire pits on the property. Because I think in January it said the temperature will range from like high 60s, maybe low 70s during the day, but then down in the 30s at night. So, um, it's kind of one of those that you don't know exactly how, what all clothes to take, and we are flying. So but it should be fun. We're really looking forward to it. All right, let's see what else we have up here. Uh, like here's a box of stuff. Let's just see what's in this. So yeah, I'll just let me know if anybody sees anything they're interested in. Um, well, I'll tell you what, this smaller stuff. Is anybody interested in this program? It's Unto These Hills from 1982. It's a program in Cherokee. I've actually seen it before. The cover's got some creasing and stuff, but let me know if anybody's interested in that. That would be a $3 start on that by itself. But then all this small stuff. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm gonna start the clock for a minute at $3, and then just start pulling stuff out of here, and we'll build a stack. So we'll start with this, and let me go ahead and run. I want to run next, so let me unpin it, then repin it. Hold on just a second. If I run next, it's only going to do it for the however long I did it before. So let me find that lot again. Wasn't that one? There it is. Sort sounds like my grandson's up upstairs. Okay. So we're going to start it, and I'm going to run it for a minute, and I'm just going to keep throwing stuff out of this box onto the stack. All right, here we go. Uh, some kind of little note card here. It's a Christmas card. Uh, here's a couple of photo slides. It looks like mountains. Here's how to dress, ship, and cook wild game. So a little booklet there. Here's a photograph of an African American guy. Nothing on there to indicate who it is. Here's a Tennessee driver's manual from, I don't know what year it is. It looks pretty old though. Here's a lady's birthday almanac from 1956. Cardui from Cardui. Here is a receipt from the Ohio Motors Company 1953 for doing some work on a car. All right. Well, that's kind of an interesting mix of stuff there. So, oops. And get this card too. I don't know what it came in with. Thanks for the bid on that. And let's see. Let me find a spot to put this. Let me find your other stuff. All right. Well, see what else is in here. If it's anything worth running. Let's see what else we have up here. Tell you what, let's see if there's any interest in any of this stuff. Um, really not sure what else in here. Let's see if there's any interest in any first day covers. These are Let me pin this. See, I'll go to at least 5. We'll see how things are going. Looks like there might be more than. Okay. All right, so here's a first day cover of the Lafayette arrival in America from 1977. I'm just going to leave these in the envelopes. Here's the Lincoln Sesquicentennial and Cooper Union speech from 1959, a first day issue, so an older first day issue. Here's a 1959, another Lincoln one. And then here's a link. Tell you what, let me see if there's any interest. These, then here's a 1958, the Lincoln Douglas debates. So you have all these are Abraham Lincoln. Let's see if there's any more. Tell you what, let me run these 3 together. Got 1 1958, 2 1959 first day covers, all with Lincoln. We'll go ahead and start this and we will just run it for 15 seconds and it is off and running. See if we have any stamp people in here. Nice images on there. All right, well, I guess we have no stamp people, so let me just see if any of these others look like they're worth running. Any patent people? We do have a patent one. I think I saw another military. Maybe not. Well, there's kind of another military one, the Four Chaplains Memorial. Seems like they got killed in one of the. See if I can find one more that looks military. I don't see one. I'll just run these 2, see if there's any interest. Then we'll stop with the stamps. Hey, David Hobb, Mindy's Life, Hamilton Denali. Appreciate everybody coming in. Probably just be going for another 10 or 15 minutes. Let me know if there's anything you want to see for anybody new coming in. I still have some postcard lots. Okay, well, that seems to be what people enjoyed the most. So for this last 10 minutes, I'll tell you what, let's run these ones I curated just to get them done. So we'll do the Tennessee ones, which is lot 6. Wherever that is. Yeah, and I wish Millicent's Memories was in here because she would probably love these, but this is going to be 35 Tennessee postcards. So we have Memphis, Shelby County building, 1938. You have the Johnson Hotel or Andrew Johnson Hotel. That's here in Knoxville. And then the U.S. Post Office in Knoxville. Then you have Nashville. That's an aerial view of Nashville. That's where my son lives. And then Fisk University in Nashville. Then Knoxville, Tennessee, City of Beautiful Churches. U.S. Post Office in Kingsport, Tennessee. Then the Science Hall at the University of Tennessee here in Knoxville. There's a duplicate of the City of Beautiful Churches. There's the Methodist, Church Street United Methodist Church. That's a beautiful church right down near UT's campus. First Baptist Church here in Knoxville. And then Legion Pool in Kingsport, up in the Tri-Cities. There's Baroness Erlanger Hospital in Chattanooga. I actually worked there for 5 years. I've been gone from there just about 5 years now, but that was where I worked for a while. I was driving back and forth between here and Chattanooga every day. There's another Erlanger Hospital, Memphis, Tennessee Customs House. And then that's Chattanooga. And then there's a RPPC of the Methodist Church in Newport, Tennessee. Post office in Clarksville, Tennessee. Then the courthouse in Memphis. And then that's a really cool. I've been up there and seen that before at Lookout Mountain. That's a college now. I think it's Covenant, maybe Hotel Patton in Chattanooga. There's another Chattanooga. There's Nashville, the state capital. There's Kingsport, the Meade Corporation. There's Kingsport, Holston River, Eastman Kodak, Baptist Hospital in Memphis, and then the John Gaston Hospital in Memphis. There's the Steric Building at night in Memphis. Johnson City, Chattanooga, Lebanon, Tennessee. That's just to the east. Is that right? Yeah, just to the east of Nashville. There's Eastman Kodak in Kingsport. And then here's Vanderbilt University in Nashville. This one's in really rough condition, but it's Cookeville Public High School in Cookeville, Tennessee. That's where I went to college, was in Cookeville at Tennessee Tech. And then last but not least, we have a bird's eye view of Chattanooga. So you're going to get all 35 of these starting at $3, and it is off and running. We'll just do 15 seconds. Thank you, Snoopy Lover. Memphis. All right. Let me write your name on here. You are welcome. Thanks to everybody who stuck with me from the beginning of the show. Like I said, we'll wrap it up here in just a couple of minutes. Let's see what else we have over here. All right, tell you what, let's finish up with a couple more of the antique postcards, and then we will call it a day. All right, so we'll do the same thing we did last time. We will put some on the table, then we'll get started. Let me get the right lot pulled up here. Magazines, ephemera lights, postcard lights. There we go. All right, so here's to greet you and wish you a very bright birthday. Here's best wishes. This one is from a friend. Then this one's with fond love. Bertha Shaw. A cheery greeting and remembrance kind to show that out of sight's not out of mind. 1910 on that one. Hearty birthday greetings. And then just regular birthday greetings. No hearty birthday greetings. And then a happy birthday. A happy birthday. Birthday greetings. Looks like we're going to run a birthday cards here. 1913. Wishing you a happy birthday. Best wishes. Hearty greetings. This one does have some damage along the edge. 1913. Then here's birthday greetings. birthday greetings. Birthday greetings. Then some flowers. H.W. Buckbee, Rockford Seed Farms in Rockford, Illinois. There's a touch right here with the flowers on it. I'll go ahead and get finished with the stack I have down here. Elsie, 1 cent stamp. They've put glitter on there. Chrysanthemum, the hope of love. Well, if I can get these. And then a bright and happy birthday. Couple more here, and then we'll get it started. Just flowers. It does have a crease in it. Then we have November. The topaz rays display that you'll be true and gay. Chrysanthemum, thy flower will give you many a happy hour. 1911. All right, let me go ahead and start it. And then I'll continue to put postcards down as long as people are bidding. Let me go ahead and grab some out of here. All right, let me get these situated here. All right, let me see. Let's start it. Let's put 20 seconds on there. And here we go. All right, so here's a Horseshoe Falls at Niagara. That's kind of cool. It's like hand tinted, I think. And then here's a Windsor Hotel in Montreal. That's all like puffed out. Then a bright and happy birthday to you. Here's another Goat Island Bridge, Niagara Falls. It's in that same style. And this one's got applied flowers. It's hard to tell, but it looks like they've been glued on the postcard. There's that one. There's On the Wallkill in New York. There's a couple of, there's another Niagara Falls. And we'll go ahead and throw this last one in there. Hearty greetings. All right, those will go with your other postcards. And we have time to do it one more time, and then we will call it a day. You got a nice big stack there, so. Oh, let me get these out. All right, that should give us enough to go with. All right, last one of the night. So this one is a flower, and it looks hand tinted, and it's all puffed up. And I'm sure if we look at the back, it's yeah. So it's not really embossed on the back; it's just raised on the front. And here's another one that's in that same style. Best wishes. Oh, this one actually is embossed. 1910. And then here's another one. Yeah, so these are all kind of in that same style. Birthday greetings, best wishes. Many returns of the day from Pearl. This one's actually got a little calendar on it. January 1910. I'm assuming the calendar's complete. So a 1910 calendar, then a happy birthday. Yeah, these are really embossed. Oh, this one's cool. Some girl standing next to the sea. And then heartiest congratulations. I don't know what you call this style. Does anybody know? I mean, other than just embossed. Then here's an Easter greetings. And then another Easter one with the purple egg. You can see the outline of the egg on the back. And then let me do one more, then we'll start the clock and start throwing them on the stack. Another Easter greetings. All right, we'll run next. It's running. There's a Christmas one. Try to go through these quick. So we've had Easter. Now we're into some Christmas. Merry Christmas. Some kind of flower. Best wishes. See if I can get some more on there before it ends. All right, thank you. And I think I was just looking how many. Yeah, these most of these aren't even that same style. I'll have when I do my next show, I'll have some more of these because I've still got a lot left. So, all right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming in. It's been a fun show. I guess I went exactly 2 hours today. Everybody have a great rest of your Tuesday, and guess I'll raid somebody to finish out. There's still four of you. A bunch of people ducked out as soon as I said bye, but stick with me long enough to let's go raid somebody. And yeah, appreciate it, Allison. Thanks for the purchases. All this will ship out tomorrow. And here we go. We'll go over to Seabay Blue Crab. They're also in the ephemera category. And we'll see you next time. I'll try not to wait 3 months before I do another show. Bye.